It is Thursday, May the 9th, 2024. I am Jay Cleveland Payne. This is Things You Might Have Heard. We have for you 8 stories queued up from the past day that you deem as conversational, covering information, politics, current events, and pop culture news. Featuring stories today about RFK Jr.'s brainworm. Yes, we're going to talk about the brainworm, plus Taylor Swift and Caitlin Clark, and a little bit extra. Check out our website. This is conversationproject.com. More details on how we do the Conversation Project and why we do it and where we do it, if you will. And email us for conversations and comments at the conversation inbox at gmail.com. As we said, today is Thursday, May the 9th. We have 8 stories that were vetted by you as conversational. We'll explain how that works out as we go through, finish the headlines and explain where the headlines go as they are. No particular order as presented, but we'll give you some context on how they landed where they did throughout the morning. Headline number 1. This story headline reads, and we're kicking it off the bat with it. RFK Jr. says worms got into my brain and ate a portion of it. That is a quote as the headline. That is what we're talking about. That's what everyone's talking about. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. recently disclosed that he had a parasitic brain worm, which impacted his brain by consuming a portion of it. Now, here's where it gets a little fuzzy. Really, it affected his memory loss and had some issues. People were saying he was just kind of off, so they wanted to check to make sure he didn't have a stroke, and have a tumor. They found this piece of this worm in his brain that had eaten a piece of it. Now, technically, worm didn't actually eat his brain. The worm essentially got into his brain, grew, and formed the issue in the section, and then died. So it didn't really eat his brain. But this is something that's not so much unfamiliar, but it's rare-ish. It's something that happens that they believe it is basically a parasite, a tapeworm that is affected in areas where pigs and sanitation are issues. And so since he spends a lot of time in developing countries and things like that, an infected salad or infected a meal, something like that, could have got this worm into him and going forward. It's a real big case study and a really interesting thing, but it's a whole lot less interesting when the guy who has the brainworm, who says his brain was eaten, is trying to be a third-party candidate for president in what we're calling, as we call them all, the most important election of our lives, because they basically all are at this point the most important elections of our lives, because we've run out of ways to describe them. Let's go to story number 2. This one a bit more amenable to folks in the meantime dealing with the issues of the now, which is TV, or what's left of TV. The headline for this story reads, Disney and Warner Brothers Discovery announced Disney Plus Hulu Max mega bundle. Yes, cable is back because it is what it is. Coming this summer. I just totally ruined that, so apologize. I tried to do the big guy voice, but didn't have it. This summer, Disney, Warner Brothers Discovery are collaborating to launch a new streaming bundle that includes Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max. The bundle is designated to offer subscribers a comprehensive streaming experience by combining content from these patrons into a single platform. Details on pricing and exact availability are still forthcoming, but the announcement indicates a strategic partnership aimed at enhancing value and convenience for viewers. Yeah, so Disney and Max, Warner Brothers Discovery, are going to get together and now bundle Disney Plus Hulu, which both are owned by Disney essentially, and Max together, and going to make you pay a whole lot of money essentially. Like I said, cable is back, baby. Where did it go? It went away from the cable companies, and now they're going to just sell it to you in bundles, because you're not also going to forget to unsubscribe to your Max subscription. You're still going to get your Netflix, still going to get your Hulu that you didn't unsubscribe from there. So there's all that. You've got all these things happening, and it's just overcoming, and we're going to have all sorts of regulations, and you're going to find out that your Rocket Money account will be overpaying so many things that you may actually make money for your Rocket Money account coming soon. Story number 3. Fans are following Taylor Swift to Europe after finding Eras Tour tickets less costly there. The Eras Tour by Taylor Swift has created a notable trend among U.S. fans, and many of them choosing to leave the U.S. actually go to Europe to attend concerts there because the ticket prices are cheaper. The movement is highlighted by Swift as she prepares for an 18-city European leg of a record-setting tour starting on May the 9th. That's essentially today. The fans' decision to follow Swift to Europe highlights the significant cost difference between here and there. And while it may cost a bunch to take a flight someplace and maybe a hotel, That flight and hotel is essentially just lost in the wash for the actual tickets to the actual concert. Congratulations, Taylor, for making more money for the world and finding a way to get back into the news again, because now we're pretty sure we're not going to be done with Taylor Swift for months again. Story number 4. Drake's security guard shot outside rapper's Toronto home amid Kendrick Lamar beef. Now, here's the thing. They're not related. But a security guard was seriously injured in a shooting incident at Drake's mansion in Toronto. The incident was prompted a police investigation. Surrounding the details and motives, things are still unclear, but there's no confirmed connection to his current beef with any other rapper, including Kendrick Lamar. It just seems like someone attempted to gain access to the mansion, and the bodyguard did his job stopping that person. The actual motive behind the break-in, not quite known to the public yet. This story was actually a big story that would have been in the top 8 for yesterday. And yesterday, if you're following, we did not have a recording. I'll have more news about why that's happening going forward. But this headline was it was a early morning one that picked up steam, and so it made it a late day one. Big story for the day. We're going to talk about it now because it is important. Gregg Doyel, reportedly suspended following Caitlin Clark's interaction, won't cover Indiana Fever games in person this season. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Doyel, Gregg Doyel, who is a reporter for the Indianapolis Star, suspended for 2 weeks following an inappropriate interaction with WNBA player Caitlin Clark during a press conference. That's how it's being described. I wasn't there. I didn't watch it, but pretty much a cringy experience between him basically grilling the new star in the WNBA. Occurred shortly after she was drafted. Following the suspension, it's decided that Doyel will not cover Indiana Fever games or any events involving Clark. Specific interaction, the disciplinary action have not been detailed, but other than he's been suspended for 2 weeks. Story number 6 this morning. That headline reads, man who tackled Dave Chappelle at Hollywood Bowl files lawsuit against venue. The venue, not Dave Chappelle. You're seeing here, if you're watching the video, the TMZ owned footage, a picture of the guy literally doing the spear to Dave Chappelle while he's on stage. Isaiah Lee, of course, the man who attacked Dave Chappelle during the performance at the Hollywood Bowl back in 2022, filed a lawsuit against the Hollywood Bowl, accusing them of negligent security, which he claims contributed to the incident. Additionally, Lee alleges that he was ruthlessly beaten as a result of the security response after he tackled Chappelle. Details of the lawsuit focus on what Lee perceives as failures in security and excessive force used during his arrest. He has not said, I was not the guy that jumped on stage and tackled Dave Chappelle. He's basically saying the guys that beat me up after I jumped on stage and tackled Dave Chappelle hit me too hard. If you notice the pauses there, I'm trying to literally process this in my head when things go on. This lawsuit is a real lawsuit. He expects to make real money because the security guards beat him up too badly after he jumped on stage and assaulted a guy on stage. More pauses to process. Let's just move on because I don't think you can process it. There's not enough. Well, let's get to the next story and process that one. Marjorie Taylor Greene fires right-hand man after his wife files for divorce for alleged adultery. More processing happening. Marjorie Taylor Greene recently terminated her district manager, Travis Loudermilk, following revelations that his involvement in an extramarital affair. The situation came to light after Loudermilk's wife, Sarah, filed for divorce citing adultery. Reports indicate that the affair was with a married Instagram influencer, which added to the public and personal controversy surrounding the case. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I believe, has some controversies and issues with fidelity in her own marriage and her life. So we're not going to point the finger on that one here. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, we aren't actually talking about what actually she did yesterday, which was the fact that she tried to kick Mike Johnson out of his job and got essentially booed and voted down. Doing actual work, technically, although the work was just causing chaos and sowing confusion, did not work out. We are talking about the fact that she fired a guy for adultery, which she has a right to fire a guy and fire a guy for not leading up to family values. But the next person we're going to talk about is sort of in that same boat where they're fighting for family values, yet being sort of total pains in the ass and just general ne'er-do-wells just in general. This is a serious story. This is a real story. And for the Loudermilk family, wife Sarah and husband Travis, they have issues that need to be dealt with. The extramarital affair, that's an issue that must be dealt with. Marjorie Taylor Greene's work-life balance, that's an issue needs to be dealt with. So this is something that is an actual serious issue, not to put light in the actual affair there, pun intended. But let's actually put some actual light and focus on some of these famous people, some of these important people, some of these people who are supposed to be doing jobs to do stuff and what they're actually doing and just essentially bringing attention to themselves. Because for all practical purposes, Marjorie Taylor Greene is just an influencer on Instagram. She just happens to also sit in Congress maybe a couple days a week. Oh, by the way, shameless hypocrite Lauren Boebert mocked for accusing Jen Psaki for going low. And this is not going to drop down the whole apple bottom jeans thing. We're not going there. Well, I just did. There's your earworm for the morning. Lauren Boebert has been labeled as a shameless hypocrite, and faces public mockery after accusing Jen Psaki of taking a low approach, her quotes, in her comments and actions. Criticism of Boebert highlights a perceived inconsistency between her own often controversial, provocative remarks and her criticism of others' conduct. Backlash seems to underline a broader debate on the standards of public discourse, particularly among political figures. So, Jen Psaki, somewhere on her TV show, somewhere in her appearance, someone talking out loud, said out loud for people to hear a comment about the possibility of Donald Trump dying. I don't have the full context of the statement. I don't have the actual even quote, but because it got cut out in the editing process. But essentially, the fact that she brought up that Donald Trump can die, which, quote, spoiler alert, we're all going to die eventually, in the context of whatever was going on, got onto Lauren Boebert. Says she went low going down to that whole remark. Lauren Boebert last year prayed for the rise of Donald Trump and the death of Joe Biden. She has publicly said she prayed for Joe Biden to die. Not, he could die. What happens if he dies? How will we go on if he's no longer here? Please, God, make Joe Biden die. These people, I'm not from Colorado. I'm not from Georgia. Well, I'm from Georgia, but I'm not living in Georgia. I don't vote in those places. These are not people I would vote for. I'm not sure who the people who thought these people who were the ones to vote for know who they're voting for. Apparently the people who like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert have issues. Of course, the Lauren Boebert people are starting to fade away. MTG, apparently she's getting stronger than ever. Let's wrap this up. That was 8 stories and headlines today. Let's explain how headlines work for you, if you will. Because there's a process, there's a thing, there's a way this thing works out. And we call it working with our feeds, if you will. And the feeds are our links on Twitter and Facebook. If you go to, excuse me, facebook.com/This Is Conversation Project and twitter.com or x.com. I should work harder to call it X. x.com/th_conversation. You will see news stories we post every 50 minutes or so. We're going to continue to do that for a while. I'll explain our sort of hiatus thing happening in a bit, but every 50 minutes or so, all day, all night, we post a news article from various sources. Some of them you may love, some of you may hate. Some of them are bigger aggregators than we are because we're just kind of there at the time. And we get stories from a various swath of news coverage, information, current events, politics, all that stuff. The headline we are teasing right now, which means you can go there essentially now. It posted about 20 minutes before we went on the air live with this in the morning. So whenever you're seeing this, it's out there on this Thursday, the 9th. Miss Teen USA 2023, Uma Sofia Srivastava, resigns just 2 days after Miss USA stepped down. We talked about a few days ago Miss USA stepping down because she's dealing with her mental health, and we wish the best for her. This is Miss Teen USA 2023 stepping down as well. Not so much for mental health, but she's saying that the organization, Miss Teen USA, no longer reflects her values, her personal values. Read the story and find out what that means. Engage in the story. That means like it, love it, hate it, share it, and let us know if we're going to talk about it. And if you deem this one worthy of chatting up more, going deeper into, we'll chat it up in tomorrow's edition of Things You Might Have Heard. It is that simple. Go to the feeds, Facebook and X or Twitter, X and Twitter, Xing Twitter, and see what you want to see. Literally, you tell us what stories by engagement, what stories you want to talk about. We will chat them up in the next edition. This one for tomorrow. Now we're going to talk about our spotlight sponsor for this morning. This happens to be Zenni Optical, Zenni, Zenni Optical. Find them via our link, our affiliate link, if you will, at this. It's theconversationproject.com/Zenni. Zenni Optical is going to get you a great deal. Good glasses, affordable costs, no BS. You don't have to pay them $100 to get glasses sent back. You just buy the glasses you want, and if you don't want them anymore, send them back. All frames, beautiful. All lenses, perfect. Great for you, great for your kids, great for your family, your spouse. Great pairs of glasses that are affordable. Affordable off the bat, and you can take care of that yourself with this, and they also take insurance, so think about that. Check out our link, our affiliate link at thisistheconversationproject.com/Zenni. This is theconversationproject.com/Zenni. It might be time for a new pair of glasses, or a spare pair of glasses, or a new pair of shades, or maybe you need to get something for your sports bag to play racquetball in, or pickleball, because it's all the rage these days. Racquetball is out, pickleball is in. Zenni Optical can take care of you at a very affordable price. Trust me, I know. I've been buying Zenni Optical glasses for a decade. I buy the same basic frames to wear all the time because I like these simple frames, and they cost me very little, so I can buy extra pairs. So when I lose a pair, which is often, I don't have to go back to optometrist and buy another pair. I find the spare pair, I wear it for a while, the other pair shows up. Life is good. Excuse me. Conversation Project lives online at this is theconversationproject.com. Today we're going to do a little bit more of a serious take, if you will, the promotion of Conversation Project. Now, if you're watching this in a replay, and I think I'll actually clip this out. It's going to be a weird clip to put out there, but in some of the clips going out there, we are going through some transitions. We've gone through some big transitions in the last year, 12, 13 months. We've been displaced from a tornado. I guess I'm not going to clip this because it's going to sound awful. Displaced from a tornado, waiting for a house to be rebuilt, which may soon be rebuilt, although even though it keeps being closer and closer to a day, nightmare issues with said contractor are really coming apart. So we're really stressing on this one. Other issues happening, including just life in general and some things happening in the real world that are really big. So we're not going to call it a hiatus. When we went on break after the tornado, we basically didn't have a place to live. So I had no place to set up anything. So for a month, no broadcast, no nothing. So what's amazing is my May numbers are amazing. The April numbers are amazing coming out of March because there was no April coming in there. My May numbers are amazing because I'm building off those April numbers. So I'm glad about that. But we're going to go away for here and there. We're going to pop in, do some shorts, do some things. We're going to do our best to maintain the actual newsletter. So make sure you go to our website. This is theconversationproject.com and click on the link to subscribe to the newsletter. Click on the link for any version of the stories and newsletters of the day. And there's a link that says subscribe. Subscribe to the newsletter so you get the news every single morning. That's fairly simple to do, actually. We pull the same data. It just takes more time to record these live things. Make sure you subscribe to our Facebook page or our YouTube page so you can get the hot takes or the short videos. We'll do more clips of things as time allots, so we're still getting some hits out there. That's what we're going to do going forward. And I apologize for this being sort of really low energy day, low energy moment, low energy segment here. But like we said, the past 2 Wednesdays, we've had some issues that have caused us not to record. And that's bringing to light essentially the new transition of we have to move to someplace else fairly soon. I have to physically move locations of my entire family. And that means tearing down the studio, not having a place set up and getting everybody set and secured. School's not quite out yet. People have to work, things going on, there's things happening. So if you are a partner and you've been following along with the partnership updates, which I've had plenty of, you'll know exactly how much hell has been going through this, and you'll know how a struggle it is to put these things out, but you also know how much I want to keep doing this. This is a very bad appeal for you becoming a partner. Check us out by going to our website. This is conversationproject.com/partnerships and offer your partnership if you want to do that there. Otherwise, follow us in the feeds and engage with us via email, and we will engage as best as possible. It's going to be very rocky for the next, I'll say 6 weeks. I'm not even going to make it live. We haven't even moved yet, so we're not sure exactly how long it's going to be. The faster we can get into the new location, which is the old location, the faster we can put something up that's going to be semi-permanent to get things going, and the faster we can put up my new studio piece. I have pieces all around this room I've made in my office here that are just equipment pieces that I bought in batches to prepare for the move that we've not had a chance to really put into place because we haven't moved. Putting together and taking it apart has been sorted. Some things we put in just because of emergency things, other things not. So apologies for the very sad, very low energy appeal there, but we have a lot of things going on. If you've gotten this far and you care that much, email me and we can chat about it. I'd love that. But if you want to be a partner and help us out, check out our partnership page and look for ways to help us get things accomplished. Finally, our synergy piece for the day is the word of the day. And this is attached to the Big Words Project. Big Words Project found at thebigwordsproject.com. This is a project that offers up more words for the love of words and getting in them. And a word of the day, which you can get in your inbox directly if you go to the Big Words Project, is synchronicity. It means the simultaneous occurrence of causionary relative related events and the belief that the simultaneity, that's a word, has meaning beyond mere coincidence. She experienced a moment of synchronicity when she bumped into an old friend in a foreign country, just as she was speaking about them. Synchronicity is something that's not quite random, but just so happens out of the blue and just seems like the gods, the universe, it was meant to happen. You meet someone at a place and then they turn into a person that's really, key to your life. And you say it was just a synchronicity that you met at that random moment and it turned into something going there. It's just, that's what synchronicity means. Like I said, Low Energy Day, big word. Check it out, the Big Words Project. Just look for our book or the latest edition of Big Words You Ought to Know, and go from there. All right, we're gonna wrap it up for the day. Thank you so much for joining us for the Conversation Projects, things you might have heard for this Thursday, May the 9th, 2024. We'll be here tomorrow, suspectively, because we're going to wrap the week out. And then it's going to be on sporadic edition for some time. We actually, just to be honest, we have a lot of travel going on. It's summertime. So we have a lot of travel scheduled for myself. My wife has some business travel going on. We have some personal family travel happening. We have to get done with school. We have to get done with college where I work. We've got to move into a new house. We've got a whole lot of things happening at the same time, and we're not very happy about it because there's a whole lot of things happening that we planned well for a year in advance. And right now we're not doing so well. So we're going to basically pause on a lot of these things here for you. We'll do our best to have great conversations, have great news coverage, because that's what I like to do. It keeps me sane and you guys enjoy it as well. Some of the bigger things, bigger projects, we're going to lay off on, and you'll see the better of it as we do that. If you want to comment, you want to, complain about today, you want to give me some hugs. Today I'm that bad, I'll take some hugs. Email the conversation inbox, gmail.com. Let me know what you're thinking, or reply in one of the videos or the audios where you're finding this, and we'll respond. I apologize for being so low energy today, but it is what it is. It's honest truth, and it's something we're not seeing a lot of. Stay limber, stay hydrated, stay on task for all the great things you do, and trust me, I love you immensely. I love you guys immensely. We'll see you guys, unless something happens, tomorrow morning.